Wait till you get off the phone. Just kidding.
At least it didn't ring like Tony's does sometimes.
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
Saw Chris Thompson out there yesterday. Obviously, it was like a quarterback policy, basically. You know, with hands off. He was telling us afterwards he hoped to be to like about 90% by the time the season starts, and just keep on improving. Are you 100% confident that he'll be ready for that first game against Arizona?
100%. Yes, I am actually. The way he runs, he looks faster right now. Just watching him on tape, his burst looks like it's 100% back. Only he knows how he feels as far as being 100%. And, quite frankly, football players, not all of them are 100% anyway. If you get to 90%, you should be pretty good. But he looks great right now. He's going to still go through a lot of work as far as getting himself ready to play, so I anticipate he'll be ready. Now, we can also control the amount we give him on his plate, early in the season also. That's a good thing. We're working, Capri and Byron Marshall, some of that role also. They're doing a great job, and so we have some other options there.
With Darius, there was obviously a lot made about him before the draft and right after about character and all that. Has he surprised you in any way with how he's been, around the building and out in the meeting rooms, on the field and all that?
Yeah, quite frankly, we didn't have any questions on his character. In every interview that we had with him and talked to him, we never had a concern about it at all. I think, when you watch his college tape, the year he played with Fournette, he was a dynamic player. We thought he might be the first player picked in the draft. And then the last year he played, he was playing through some injuries and he didn't look quite the same. I think that's probably why he fell more so than his character. So, grab him in the second round was obviously a great treat for us, but character was never a concern. He's been great, never been late, attentive, great attitude, always happy-go-lucky, and fun to be around, quite frankly.
To John's question, same thing. Why do you think there were any of those character concerns, or why would he drop in the draft? Because it seems like he is a kind of a happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah, I don't know if there's 5 or 6 good backs in the draft now. He wasn't the only good back in the draft. I mean, you talk about Chubb and the other kid, Sony Michel and Penny. I mean, it's not like he's dropping. Those guys are good players. So it just depends on what type of back you wanted for your team. Just so happens he was there when we picked and we took him. So. All those guys are good players. You get drafted in the second round, you're a damn good back. It's not like you're a scrub. So this guy's a good player, and a lot of great players have been taken in the second round. So we anticipate him being one of them.
Sean Laval looked, and how much has injuries over the year kind of affected his growth as a player?
I think he's a veteran guy that's been through it. I think injuries have affected us more than him. Every time he goes down, we have to replace him. But I think he's in a good spot. He's a guy that you obviously have concerns about because of his injury history. And sometimes, that comes back to bite you. But we are not going to worry about that so much. I think he's put himself in a position where he's in good shape. And hopefully his ankles and feet and shoulders and the things that he's had have healed, and he's ready to go. We can't anticipate another injury, but we can do a good job of being that he's a veteran guy, taking some reps off of him throughout the week and letting him rest a little bit.
Jay, Maurice Harris seems to be having what I think probably one of the best camps of anyone out there. Just what have you seen from him as far as getting to being a consistent player and also being a guy who can step in for any one of your top 3 receivers and be able to produce when they're out?
The thing about Mo is he can play any position, and he is very quarterback friendly. He's got strong hands, and he's probably, he could be our best route runner on our team. He does everything exactly right. He knows how to set up a defender. He's strong enough to get away from press coverage. And like I said, the quarterbacks love him. He's a big, long target, and he's really good after the catch. So. I love Maurice Harris. He's got Josh Doxson, obviously Paul Richardson, Jameson Crowder. We got Rob Davis who's doing some good things. You got Trey Quinn who's doing some good things. Brian Quick. Now we have Cam. Cam's doing a good job, wide receiver from Alabama. He's doing a good job. And, we have Shea. He's doing a good job. We have a pretty good group of wide receivers here that's a logjam for that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th spot. So we'll see what happens. But I love what he's doing.
Jay, you've been asked about Darius quite a bit. He seems to be a fan favorite early on. You've also spoken about his energy and wanting to bottle it up in the right places. What is your message to him about maybe his own expectations and maybe putting too much pressure on himself to prove those doubters wrong?
He's a confident guy now. That's not an issue there. That's I mean, holy cow. He's very confident, and I like that about a back. You have to be confident about a back. He's very powerful. He knows he's very powerful. He's very fast. He knows he's fast. So there's really no reason for him not to be confident. And the big thing is we just got to get him to know what to do and be confident in the fundamentals of what tracks he's hitting, pass protection, all that good stuff. But I think he's a guy that is just born with a gift of having great energy on a daily basis. He wakes up in the morning with a great bounce in his step, and every day's the same with him. I have not seen a down day from him. You know, he might have his. No, I think it's just he's gonna be fine. Quite frankly, every day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day we play, he'll be ready.
Ryan Anderson, a couple of days ago, said he had kind of a disappointing rookie year, but he's lost 10 pounds. Has kind of started to figure things out as far as taking care of his body. What have you seen from him so far, and what are you looking from him for this year?
Well, same thing. We got to get him healthy. Number one, he's had the back spasm a little bit to slow him down early, but he probably thinks he had a down year. He didn't have a down year. He plays behind Preston and Kerrigan, so and then we had Junior also last year, and so he's really the third, fourth guy, and as a rookie, I think a lot of guys have high expectations. They're going to come in and lead the league in sacks and tackles and forced fumbles and passes batted down and all that stuff. But in reality, you got to earn your stripes, especially if you're playing behind somebody of great quality like Ryan Kerrigan and Preston Smith. So he'll get his work, and we'll continue to work him. The big thing for him is to put practices back to back to back to back to back to back together, continue getting better. But I see steady improvement and growth from him in the weight room, his weight, his effort. So I like where Ryan's at.
Coach Gruden, how do you feel Chase Royer is doing now as the starting center? How is he gathering the offense, and how is he working with Alex Smith?
Doing good. It's a great test early on, especially with Payne and Jonathan in there, and Matt and Ziggy and all those guys. Different guy on him every time, but he's done a good job, and he's just going to continue to get better. The more he sees, the more he is going to be confident, and the more he can make the calls like that and then adjust to them on the fly. So he's the quarterback of that offensive line, and he's going to need to see all the looks. So on game day, under, over front, jam front, whatever it is, he can spit out the calls effortlessly and be able to execute a lot smoother because of it. But he's got a great body for center, and I think he's steadily improving to be a good starting center for this organization for a long time.
Jay, I talked to Tim Settle yesterday. He talked about stepping in with Duran being down. How do you think he's done with the added reps and kind of more added expectations since he's gone down?
Yeah, he has done well. All those guys we've had. Pip was down for a little bit, and then we had Duran went down, and we had another one go down. So we had 2 or 3 guys that were missing practice, so Settle had to step in and take a lot of reps, and he took advantage of them. And that's what we expect these guys to do, and that's what training camp's all about is for these young guys, they have to wait their turn. And when they do get their reps, the opportunity arises, they have to take advantage of them, and Tim's done a good job of that. Now it's a matter of him being consistent, putting days back-to-back together, and then getting into games and producing into games and being in the right spot. But he's got good strength. Lower body strength is excellent, and he's got a pretty good get-off, for a big man, which is good to see. So continue to get him running to the ball and just watching him steady and improve with Coach Tom Sula, and he's got a chance to be a good one too.
Jay, circling back to the wide receiver conversation, maybe after the top 3 guys, it's a really bunched up competition. You only kept 5 last year. How important are special teams for those guys?
Very important. If one guy can stand out on special teams, then that's your 4th. Period. We understand that we have to improve on special teams, and instead of just saying that on a guy's going to be more of a true wide receiver, your 5th guy could be more in that role. So we'll have to wait and see, even if it's as a backup returner or a flyer or whatever it might be.
Still going into the season, returning punts?
Yeah, why not?
Coach here in the back, to kind of piggyback on that question, in regards to your running backs, do you have an idea of how many you will carry in the regular season, and what would you like to see from guys such as Bibbs and also Marshall and possibly even Kelly?
Possibly Kelly? Kelly's had a great camp, and I don't know if anybody's been out there, but he looks very good. So, you know what, we're just going to let him keep playing, and we don't know how many we're going to keep. A lot's dependent on other positions. You know, how many offensive linemen we have to keep, and how many tight ends. You know, are we going to keep a fullback or not? Can Rob Kelly or Samaje Perine possibly be a fullback? You know, there's other things we still have to continue to look at. But right now, we're trying to get them in their position, let them go out there and compete, and then we'll start to mix and mingle some of our personnel groupings of that nature and try to start figuring it out for the regular season. But that won't start happening until probably after the second preseason game, quite frankly, leading up to the third preseason game.
Do you expect just an update on Mason Foster? Is he going to do teamwork today?
Yeah, he practiced yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he was limited.
Yeah, he just has a little sore oblique.
Coach, going back to Jamison Crowder, he's the veteran inside that wide receiver room now, and among the receivers, it seems like he might be Alex Smith's favorite target, at least in these early days of camp. So how hard is it to develop a rapport with a new quarterback, and what is it about Crowder specifically that you think might be working to his advantage in that regard?
Well, Crowder's just he's just got a natural feel for the position. And not only that, but he's got great quickness. And as a slot receiver, you have to have great feel, understanding man or zone. Now, when you do get man-to-man, you have to have the quickness to separate. He can do all that. You know, that's why he's so good. And then you have to be fearless across the middle. It's one thing to get open, but it's another thing to catch the ball between two linebackers or have a nickel traveling and a safety coming down on you. He takes very friendly angles. He got strong hands, and he's fearless, quite frankly. I mean, you could probably count all the drops he's had in his career here on one hand, other than the punts. He dropped a couple of those last year. But yeah, I think all that put together, his idea of man his own, separate, quarterback-friendly target, and strong hands and fearless, make him for a perfect slot.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.